Welcome to the Digital Coffee Break presented by Scrapaneers.com. My name is Tiffany Tillman, founder and educator for Scrapaneers, and I'm delighted to be your hostess today, as always. Let me introduce y'all to our guest today. She is Leah Riordan, designer extraordinaire, and she lives in the lower Hudson Valley of New York State, which she says is absolutely gorgeous. We'll take her word on that. She's originally from Mississippi. She and her husband have a beautiful 11-year-old daughter and a brand new daughter 2.0 launched in October 2013. In their spare time, they geek out with Doctor Who and Star Wars, Minecraft. If it's geeky, Leah's on it. I already love her because she's into Star Wars and Minecraft and all that great stuff. She's also a pianist and considers that her second passion. She's a self-taught graphic designer, freaking unbelievable. You can find her commercial use designs over at sugarhillcompany.com and personal use digital scrapbooking products at pixelsandcompany.com. Welcome, Leah.
Thank you for such a warm welcome.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm absolutely thrilled to talk with you today for many reasons. Let me start off with this. I've been stalking you for a while. I never told you that, but you are and your style, especially when you came with our Pixels and Company. I just was so amazed because you are the queen of styles, in my opinion. And that's what you're here to talk to us about. I know a lot of our subscribers who are watching probably have a lot of questions about styles. They're probably using some form of styles, but I would love to pick your brain. And I'm so excited that you've joined us here today so we can talk about that.
That's great. I'm pretty passionate about styles. I get really kind of geekily excited. Anytime I'm making a new style, it's always my favorite one ever.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm hoping that that kind of comes off in the work that I do because I'm not just making styles to make them. I'm making them also to make my design work and my scrapping easier. And hoping that translates well to other people. So yeah, I love it.
Awesome. Let's go into that. I want to see how you work behind the scenes because this is fabulous and amazing. Let's watch how you do this.
So here I have a layout that I created specifically for this, which is fun. um, and I wanted to apply a sticker style to my title work here. So I'm going to just zoom in a bit so you can see right here. As you, the layout says, she's the best surprise. Our youngest daughter was a surprise for us, and we were
Oh,
really excited.
oh,
So
that's so sweet.
she was the best surprise ever. We're so happy. Um,
Yes.
and with the class, I created these styles for you guys. One of them has a drop shadow already added to it, and then the other does not. But so I'm just going to go ahead and apply. I need to make sure that I'm actually getting the right layer there. Now I know why it was messing up with me. All right, so I have just a plain old text style, right? And I have the text the color that I want it, and with the one click, uh, or if I actually do click on it, bam, I turn that layer there from text to a style, which is the layer itself is still very editable. So if I wanted to change the color and whatnot, but with the style, I made sure to add a texture because I wanted it to be a little more dynamic than just a flat, plain old nothing, if that makes sense. And if you look really closely as I zoom in, you'll notice that the texture for the sticker edging itself is also it it matches with the effect on the text, and it just adds a little extra oomph instead of just being flat white.
Oh,
Um, you see. So, and then there's also a slight bevel, and then I added a drop shadow, but it was a bit tricky to get a drop shadow with this specific style, and I would love to show that, but let's see, I'm going to add the rest, another style there on the smaller text. So there. But that's it. Just with those clicks, I went from having a flat title to a fun sticker title. Yay!
Oh my goodness. Okay, so let's start from the beginning for a second here. You had your text. What's the font that you have on Surprise? I'm a font gal. I love fonts.
I believe that is called Stringfellows. Let's click here and see. Oh, quit being difficult journaling. Yes, it is Stringfellows. And I got
Okay.
it as one of those big font bundles, so
Mhm.
I never can resist them ever.
Oh, of course, of course. Who can resist any font at any price? It doesn't matter. No, I'm addicted to fonts. So what can I say? Okay, so you had your text set. You didn't flatten it or anything like that. You left it exactly the way it is,
Yeah, it's the
and color.
text layer.
Right. And then you added, you have your color. And then you loaded your styles. Well, actually, you created it. But if for someone watching, you actually have this particular sticker style available to everyone who's watching. And you can download it right underneath this video if you're watching later. Kat and Lisa will have to get it to you guys later. But and then what you did is you loaded those styles, and with one click, you were able to add the bevel emboss, the stroke. I'm looking in your layers panel, the pattern overlay, and the drop shadow to create that amazing, beautiful effect in one click. That's what your styles do.
That's exactly right. Yes. And what's even more fun about it is that you can take a style like this and with just a little bit of tweaking really make it unique to you. So,
Hmm.
and I want to do that with the "You Are the Best" part because I don't like how thick the sticker is with
Hmm.
that specific area. So, whenever I want to edit a style, I typically I take a good look at it and I think, all right, do I want it to be about half the size that it is? So I kind of think in almost mathematical terms, and you'll see why here in a moment. So as I double click on this layer, it's going to pull up my style panel, I guess, or box. And
Hmm.
as you can see, you'll see the different areas. Like you said, these are all where effects are at. So we have the drop shadow that we could turn off and on, the pattern overlay, which is what is giving the effect to the text part, but not the outlined bit. All right. And then the stroke, which this is where the most of the sticker awesomeness is at, is with the stroke itself. And you can actually have your stroke, you can change it to a pattern, and that's the pattern I used, a texture pattern that matched the pattern texture for the overlay of the text. It's the same thing but in white for the stroke. And this is where I have the size. So as you see up here, it's 25. So if I wanted to make it a bit smaller, I might make it 17, like that. But you'll notice that as I decrease the size, we lose the beveled effect of the edging. You can see it
Hmm.
here on the larger one, but now you can't see it on the smaller. So after you've decided on the size that you want, you're going to look at that number, all right, which is 13. It's 13 pixels. And then we're going to go to our bevel. And it's set at 28. Well, I remember that it was 25 originally. So I'm going to think, all right, well, if it's 13, I just want to do 2 pixels more. So we're going to do 15 and see what happens. And as I did that, you can see there that a little bit of the bevel came back for us. So
Ooh.
with your stroke emboss, and it's smooth, the direction, whatever, you're going to go to the size, and then you'll just play around with it. You don't, if you want it even to be thicker, you can kind of see if I really turn it down all the way, and as you move the bar, how it changes the size of it, just like that.
Ooh. So you just made my heart pitter patter. I did not think about that ever before. Was that mathematically it makes complete sense that originally you were 2 pixels above,
Right.
so when you went to move from the stroke to the bevel, you would, even though you're changing the size, it's still 2 pixels in relation. So it works perfectly. That's
Just about
awesome.
right. Right, exactly. I mean, it's super fun. And let's say you even wanted to make it maybe a puffier sort of look, like a puffy sort of, I don't know, sticker element. You might
Hmm.
want to use soften a little bit, and it kind of gives it that puffed out sort of effect like that, which
Ooh,
I think is kind of fun too. So just with this one style, you could totally change the look of it, like all the way, just by playing with a few little settings. Like that's why I tell people, don't be afraid to play with settings, and it's not like you're going to ruin the style. You have it already set. It's not you're not saving over it. So you might as well play around and try to get an effect that you really like. The other
right,
problem right now that we have with this style, though, or I wouldn't call it a problem, is the drop shadow is a little
right.
awkward because before it was set to a much larger area. The interesting thing about drop shadows is it's not going to matter if you are using a stroke. Your drop shadow is not picking up that stroke. The stroke is an effect on top of the layer. So it's only going to add a shadow to the text itself, just this little bit of text. And if you look at it, you can see if I change the size, you can definitely see that it's exactly the same size, right, of
Mm-hmm.
of that. So the next part is figuring out how to fix that.
Mm-hmm.
So what I like to do, like I have my shadow set. I know I want to change the distance to be a bit closer, like that. And what I did specifically with these styles is I changed the spread. Now, typically your styles, if you ever look at them, if you look at your drop shadow styles, not many people play around with the spread of the shadow. But anytime that you're using something that has a stroke on it, such as these sticker styles, if you increase the spread, and as I do that, you can see how it kind of puffs it out, right? Like a
Mm-hmm.
blowfish.
Mm-hmm.
And
Just like a blowfish.
yeah, just like a blowfish. And it allows us to still have a neat drop shadow effect, just like that. Um, Without having to, after the fact, maybe rasterize the layer, then add the drop shadow to it. This way, the layer still stays editable for us because it's still a text layer. So when I oh, and once you have it the way you like it, which I do right now, I really like how it looks. Just go whenever you have your new style. Make sure you save it. Include your layer blending options just because. And I'm going to call this thin sticker and okay. And now that'll pop up in my style box there is this new style that I just created out of the old one.
Hmm.
So
Ah,
so we have our old style without a shadow. There it was huge. And now here's our new little one.
wow. Very cool. Lisa's over there. She says she lots of detail in a one-click style. I like seeing all the adjustments, and I do too. I agree that that's incredible to see them all layered on top of one another, like you said, rather than flattening everything and then having to add an adjustment or something like that. And Kat says I should save my styles more often, and that's the other thing I was thinking was I don't leave my styles panel up enough that when I'm altering my own styles or something like that, I should be, you know, she says fat fingers. No, but saving them, it needs to become a part of that work, that process of your workflow, because it just makes life so much easier, especially if you're creating multiple layouts or you don't scrapbook that often and you want to come back and it's right there at your fingertips. You're just making the case of why it's just so important to have.
So here we go. This is a layout that's already complete, right? I'm
Hmm.
actually second guessing myself about this one because how high up the layer, whatever, it's fine. The layout's already done. What if I wanted to change it secondhand, right? So I'm just going to add a layer above it again. We're going to fill it in with any, it doesn't matter the color. Right now it's like black. Turn the fill down to 0. Double click on that layer. You're going to go to gradient overlay. Again, you're just going to keep your mind open of the shading. This one is actually more, the shading was done right from the top, so 90 degree. So this works better. And then I'm going to just apply soft light. Ooh, it works a lot better on this one. So you can definitely see a difference with that. From that to that is a pretty big difference. Now, if it's too much for you, you can turn down the opacity of that. Soft light does work really nicely though with this, with just your plain black and white gradient. That's already a default in your layer style palette. Is one of the other reasons why I'm using that with you. So once you have that done, just like with anything else, like if this is what you like, and you're like, oh, this is perfect. I'm actually going to turn it up a little bit, the opacity. I'm going to name it as a new style, and I'm going to call it lighting effect. And then whenever you do this, I would make sure to save at the end 90 for like 90 degrees. So if you're using different shading options, like some people do like their shadows to come from the bottom up or whatever, you can save that differently. So you can remember, all right, well, this one's 90, this one's 120, this one's 45. Um, so that's what I do. So this one's 90, and I'm just going to hit OK. And then that's it. So then I would merge visible or flatten the image, and then I have a brand new lighting effect layout done.
Cool. I am amazed. Lisa,
So,
Kat, do you guys do that? I've never thought about doing it like that. I'm sorry, Leah, we missed that. Say that again.
oh, I said I was like before and after. That's it.
It's really incredible. I've never thought about doing it like that, especially as a style. I would have had like an adjustment layer or something like that, but it works even better because then you get all of those customizations from having a style and you can save it for later.
Exactly.
It's
I'm all for
it's
saving for later.
Yes. And on top of the fact that it makes like Cats has written it's such a great impact. It really creates that added drama and helps focus your eyes upward like a lighting effect would. So it's just incredible. I'm so happy for you. I'm just happy that you're showing me this because it's just like holy cow, this makes me excited and I want to scrapbook a page right now and use one, you know? All right. Well, that's all the time that we have, Leah. Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, you're very welcome.
And thank you guys and Kat. I know you're still in the room, Kat and Lisa. And for everybody who's watching, I want to thank Leah Riordan, owner of Mommyish. You can find her at www.mommyish.net and her beautiful digi products at pixelsandcompany.com and those sweet styles at sugarhillco.com. Is that right, Leah?
That's right, sugarhillco.com.
Awesome. Thank you to you guys who joined us. High fives. And to our viewers who support our videocast. I'm Tiffany Tillman. Find me over at simplytiffanystudios.com. We'll see you again for the next digital coffee break. And remember, keep creating those beautiful digital memories because no one can capture your piece of the world quite like you.